Well, hello there. Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. You know this guy, my special guest for today, a person who's anything but ordinary. Ken Pluff, how you been?
Good. How are you, Dave?
I'm doing fantastic.
Wonderful.
So, Ken, this time around we've got kind of another unique bottle, right? And I've been excited to try this. It's a limited release, but I picked this up a few weeks ago at 5 Barrel, which is, I think, maybe my favorite liquor store now, right? It's up in Plymouth. And just fantastic owner, fantastic family that runs the place, but a little bit harder to find, right?
I think you own stock in that place.
I might.
Pretty close.
Well, we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah.
But so one thing we're trying with a couple episodes this season is, we've got a lot of things that are different. We've got the two camera angles that we're trying to get to work, right? We've got improved mics, right? Better cameras now, a different splash screen, right? But we're also trying to on some reviews, just jump right into the review, right?
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do on this one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna talk about the history of this bourbon here.
All right.
So this is Michter's Bomberger's Declaration 2025 release. It's $129, okay? There's quite a bit of history here. In 1753, Swiss Mennonite farmer John Schenck founded the company in Schaefferstown, Pennsylvania. During the Revolutionary War, it is known that George Washington supplied whiskey to his troops, including whiskey from John Schenck, viewing it as essential for their health.
Nice.
Schenck's son-in-law, Rudolf Meyer, and another relative, John Kratzer, ran the distillery from 1827 until 1860, when it was sold to Abraham Bomberger, a Pennsylvania Dutchman with familial relations. The distillery shut down in 1919, just before the start of Prohibition. In 1920, Ephraim Sechrist purchased the distillery, which in fairness seems like a pretty dumb move, right before Prohibition.
Right.
But either way, Sechrist did start distilling at the end of Prohibition in 1934, but then sold it to Louis Foreman in 1942. This was short-lived, as Foreman sold the distillery once he was drafted for service in World War II, but he bought it back in 1950. Oh, and Foreman's master distiller was a guy named Charles Everett Beam. Does that sound familiar?
Oh, Jimmy.
There you go, grandnephew of Jim Beam. In 1950s, owner Louis Foreman created the name Michter's by combining the names of his two sons, Michael and Peter.
Bad choice.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of nice of him,
Yeah.
right? Due to the 1953 recession, Foreman then sold the distillery in 1956 to Penco Distillers, but kept the Michter's formula that had been developed with Beam along with the aging inventory of bourbon. Penco used the distillery for contract distilling until 1978, when Foreman distributed Michter's whiskey through his liquor wholesaling business. At this time, Foreman and a group of supporters purchased the distillery back at the foreclosure sale of Penco and operated the distillery until it finally closed in 1989 after a bankruptcy filing. The historic site, regarded as America's first industrial distillery, was abandoned. Look at all the notes here.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
there's a lot of history.
Yeah.
In 1997, Joseph J. Magliocco and Richard Dick Newman purchased the brand Michter's. Magliocco was intimately familiar with Michter's during his collegiate days at Yale and Harvard Law School. Newman, a Purple Heart awarded former Marine, had spent time in the business running companies like Old Grandad, Old Crow, and Old Taylor for National Distilleries brand, before becoming president and CEO of Austin Nichols, the distillery of Wild Turkey. They initially sourced and bottled high-quality barrels before distilling their own product in 2015. According to master distiller Dan McKee, every drop of whiskey used in Michter's products from 2023 onward uses distillate that was made by Michter's, so their own stuff, their own liquid. The current Michter's is a shadow of the original, now operating exclusively in Kentucky instead of Pennsylvania. There are some notable things going on with this company, though. Michter's operates under the guiding philosophy of cost be damned, intended to produce the best possible whiskey regardless of the expense incurred in production. Key aspects of this include they deposit their whiskey for aging into barrels at a lower proof, right? So by law, the maximum proof that bourbon can enter the barrel is 125. Michter's uses 103, which isn't too revolutionary. Other distillers use lower entry proofs for flavor as well. So makersmark barrels, their spirit at 110 proof, Wild Turkey barrels at 115. They also toast barrels before charring them, a process that is believed to provide a unique finish by caramelizing wood sugars before the char. Elijah Craig also uses the process like this for their appropriately named Toasted Barrel, as does Penelope in their Toasted series. Jack Daniel's, although not a bourbon, has long given their products the same treatment. So what about this bourbon? This is part of the Michter's Legacy series, made up of this Bomberger's Declaration Kentucky Straight Bourbon and Bomberger's PFG, which is Precision Fine Grain Bourbon. Yeah, well, maybe it was a play on words. And Shank's Homestead Sour Mash Whiskey, that's the third one. It's bottled at a spicy 108 proof and aged in a special, naturally air-dried Chinquapin oak barrels. There's no age statement on the bottle, but it's widely mentioned online that this liquid is aged for 5 or 6 years. Interestingly, there's a considerable amount of yammer online about how the barrels are aged prior to being introduced to the liquid, citing a blend of barrels aged between 18 months and 5 years themselves before being put in play. Details of the mash bill were also undisclosed. There wasn't much online about this. There was one site, though, that suggests that this 2023 release used a recipe that was 79% corn, 11% rye, and 10% malted barley. By comparison, the original Michter's, the one produced by Foreman and Charles Everett Beam back in the 50s in Pennsylvania, used their, quote, original famous sour mash recipe, often cited as 50% corn, 38% rye, and 12% barley, which would have meant the original would be classified as neither a bourbon or a rye. Also, the legendary distillery in Schaefferstown, Pennsylvania, on the National Register of Historic Places and declared a National Historic Landmark, is still abandoned and severely deteriorated. It is currently owned by the John Berry of JJC Investments, who purchased the facility in 2011 for $250,000 from a woodworker named Dwight Hostetter. Hostetter had acquired the facility in hopes of preserving the historic structures. We'll see if John Berry might be more successful in doing so. So that's that. That's a lot of history.
That is.
And now we just get into the sampling. Now, I mentioned this to you before. New in season 3, we've got a signature Ordinary Guys Bourbon cocktail, right? And so we've got our neat samples in these beautiful glasses here. And then here we've got, this is Ordinary Guys Bourbon Double Dad-Made Breakfast Cocktail. Okay, so it's 4 ounces of bourbon. You skip 2 ounces of maple syrup, skip 2 ounces of cold brew coffee, skip 1 ounce of triple sec, and skip a half an ounce of walnut liqueur, preferably Nicello. Okay. Right, just skip that and then serve over ice. Yeah, so this is the Ordinary Guys Bourbon Double Dad-Made Breakfast Cocktail. All right. So let's get into it. We got scoring to do here. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
Bombergers. You can taste the heat a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
That's always the case with the meat sample.
Yeah, but it is jet fuel, but at the same time, it's tasty.
Try the cocktail. I think you'll like the cocktail more. I do.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's pretty good.
Yeah, with the cocktail.
Even, like for me, like I'm not a bourbon guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
But it takes the edge off.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, you know what I was thinking? When you, before we get to the scoring, I was thinking about this as I was driving over today. When you ride motorcycles, where you were riding fast, you ever do that thing where they put their knee on the ground?
Yeah.
Going around
corners.
Do you have to have like plates in your knee or like special kneecap?
I mean, the suits obviously have them because on the track you can get a lot lower because of the tires,
okay,
right, and the surface. But on the street,
because some of those bikes are they're like a 30 degree angle.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, they're getting down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
fun.
Is there enough like rubber that's melted onto the road that the road's like tacky, or is it just like the heat of the wheels being?
It's just the compound of the tire.
Really?
And they call them chicken strips. So if you're looking at a sport bike tire, right, on a Harley or a cruiser, most of the tire wear is going to be in the center of the tire, right? If you ride a sport bike and your tire wear is in the center of the tire and you don't have anywhere on the outsides, they call those chicken strips.
Because you drive too upright?
You're chicken to go into corners.
You ever see, there was a video of a guy and he was going, he's got the whole suit on, right?
Mhm.
He's just getting after it, right?
Yep.
On a track. And he fell off the bike, and he's sliding across the pavement. I'm just sliding, right? And as he gets to the end of the slide, he just stands right up and just starts walking.
Mhm.
That was neat.
Yeah. Yep.
Those suits, they
They now most of the suits actually have airbags in them.
No kidding.
Yep.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Are they heavy, the suits?
No,
Are they hot?
yeah. I mean, they're leather.
Okay.
Those things are completely full leather. There is ventilation in them.
Okay.
The material is perforated and.
But even leather wears.
But it's leather.
Do they have like carbon fiber inside it too, or something?
You can, believe it or not,
Those guys
some
probably
of them. Some of them are made out of kangaroo. There's several different types of leather that they use.
My soccer shoes I used to play in were
Made out of
allegedly
kangaroo.
of kangaroo leather.
Yeah. I don't know what's so special about kangaroo leather.
I think it's softer.
It's expensive.
It's
I know
softer.
that. Mm.
More supple.
Mm.
So let's get into the score. We've got
All right.
we've got a new ballot for season 3, and we've added some of the score, the maximum possible have changed, but we added availability. All right. So like I did not pull up what the availability of this bourbon was. I didn't talk about it, but it's allegedly a very limited release.
Have you ever seen it before?
I've never seen it before. This is the first time I've ever had this, and I don't know if it says like what bottled. There's 2,700 bottles,
Okay.
apparently. That's all.
Out of this batch.
Yeah.
I wonder how many different batches.
No, I think this is it.
Okay.
I think. That can't be right, can it be? That'd be like 10, 15 barrels. You know? Oh, that's not 108.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and assume. Well, we'll get into it. Let's start with Heritage.
All right.
Heritage maximum score is 15,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I mean, there's a lot of story, a lot of heritage around
Yeah.
the Michter's brand,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then on the flip side of that coin, this is a completely different recipe than what they had. Right?
Yeah.
So they're not using the Charles Everett Beam recipe.
Yeah, all that
Right.
stuff goes out the window.
Yep.
Like this is really recent, right?
Yeah, really like the 2023 was the first time that the distillate in the bottle was produced by Michter's. Before it was we'll buy a bottle from this company, we'll buy a barrel from this
But
company.
no
a
matter
barrel
what,
from-
they always add the Michter's juice, right?
Yeah, well,
The magical.
yeah. I think I'm gonna go. I mean, there is a lot of history there, but it seems like some of that history they're just clinging on to.
Yeah.
Right? They bought the name and they're clinging on to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I can go. I'm gonna go with a 9.
Ooh, I was gonna go with 8.
There you go.
Yeah, I gotta stay with the.
Taste and drinkability, we've kept this one as the highest possible score, so it's still maximum of 40.
It's pretty tasty.
I really like it.
35,
I'm gonna go with 36. I think
36. I don't know.
this really is a delicious liquid.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Affordability though, $129.
Kicking nuts.
It is. It's a little bit rich.
Yeah.
But then again, it's a limited release. You're maybe buying it for a collection.
Yeah.
Right.
And you don't know like what the aging is, right?
Well, 5 to 6 years it said online.
Okay.
You know, I think. There's different categories of bourbon, right?
Mhm.
If you're just God bless you, you're a person that you're exhausted from working every day,
Yep.
right? And every day you get home, you
Average
gotta
Joe.
pour yourself one, or maybe you finish cutting the grass,
Mhm.
right? And you come inside, a beer, you don't want that heaviness. You just pour
Yep.
yourself a bourbon, right?
Yep.
Maybe people are going in the jimbeam blend for that.
Mhm.
Maybe they're staying in that space, Buffalotrace.
Yep.
This it seems like it could be like a gift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Christmas.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go, but still $129. I think I'm gonna go with a 12.
Yeah,
Out
that's
of 20.
That's pretty good. I'm gonna go with a 10 because I'm broke and
Availability, I guess, is a double-edged sword, right?
Mhm.
So probably not a lot of availability for this product. But if you see this product, it might be something. If you start a collection, it's priced $139. It might be a good one to grab. But it's not like you can go to any store and find this. Right. So I think I'm gonna keep this one at a 5 out of 15.
Yeah.
And then last we've got design.
I like the label.
I mean,
I like all the breakout that it gives you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
They show proof.
Yeah, I mean, it's as plain as you can get. It's classic.
Looks like a wine bottle.
And then they've got this writing here. I couldn't even read this stuff.
This looks like it's in Latin.
It's super italicized.
I think it's Latin.
It honors the legacy of the former distillery known as Bombergers in the 1800s and later as Michters in the 20th century. Please join us in toasting and celebrating American whiskey history.
I didn't know you spoke Latin.
No, big Latin.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with 6. There's nothing fantastic.
There's nothing fancy about that. Ooh, total.
I wonder if I'm pronouncing Michters correctly. If it's Michael and Peter, maybe it's Michters.
What?
If the name was combined, the names Michael and Peter, maybe it's Michters, not Michters.
It might be.
Me. Well, I'm on a 68. What do you have?
64?
64. Yeah. So pretty strong.
But
strong score.
that's subjective. You might want to prove that. I have been wrong twice.
That's right.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah. There we have it. Michter's Bomberger's Declaration 2025 release. Average score was 66. Until next time, Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Cheers.
Cheers.
Don't you do all that stuff? Like
what is it? Does that get you
I don't know.
ready?
It loosens up your vocal cords. And
I think you did an excellent job.
did I do enough for both of us?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.